I have a quote from you that you said, in the same way that Ethereum opened up the programmability of the asset, we opened up the programmability of the network. You say that's incredibly key, and I think it's something a lot of people don't understand how important that is. When you look at the top 25 market caps, what do you see? You don't see innovation, do you? You see
No.
people that are maybe, what do you see? Tell me and be honest.
Yeah, let's go through this. So what I see at the very top is Bitcoin. And what I see there is the crux of a vision so compelling, so amazing that it begat 8,000 copycats. So, let's first start with that. Satoshi had an amazing vision and the technology is fantastic. But at the root of it all, it's a hard capped asset that has great brand recognition and great liquidity, but the technology does not scale as is. It needs layer 2 solutions to be able to accommodate things. The layer 2 solutions have been a long time in the making, and they just aren't there. If you want to send real money over the Lightning Network, for example, it's just the capacity isn't there. So if I go down the list, I start seeing Ethereum, very fantastic idea. It has one addition to Bitcoin, which is it ends up making the scripting language Turing complete. So it makes it more flexible. And that's the main thing it changes. Everything else it inherits from Bitcoin. Then you go down that list, you see stable coins. I'm not going to get into DeFi coins. I think they're special and different. They each have their own uses. But all of the layer ones are essentially copycats of these two ideas. They're either a copycat of Bitcoin with just some parameters tweaked, or they're just a cheap copy of Ethereum with essentially not all that much changed. It's exactly like Ethereum. It runs elsewhere. It runs in a more centralized fashion. So that's what I see in the top 25. There's scant innovation there. Nobody has really looked carefully at changing or giving programmable control over the network. So at least nobody had when we were looking into this in 2018. There are only a very few set of coins, us, Cosmos, and Polkadot, that are even thinking about it. But if you look at what they have implemented, they actually typically fall short of what they advertise. So Avalanche has drastically revolutionized this space in bringing a new consensus protocol. And let me just maybe go on a slight tangent here and talk a little bit about this. Some people have the notion that there are only two kinds of consensus protocols: proof of work and proof of stake. That's not correct. Proof of work is indeed one class of consensus protocols. It refers to Nakamoto consensus, which is intimately intertwined with that mining process, that electricity consuming process that your audience probably knows incredibly well. Proof of stake refers to how you secure the network. You secure it not with mining, but with stake. But that doesn't really define how you achieve consensus. We achieve consensus by sending messages in a certain way. I send a message to you, I get a signed response from you. That's not sufficient, of course, for me to make a decision. I need to hear from some large number of people, and there's a messaging pattern. Every one of these protocols differs a little bit on how they do that messaging. If you look at all coins other than Avalanche, I mean all of them, all proof of stake coins other than Avalanche, they do, at the end of the day, they do all-to-all messaging. So there's a set of validators, and a given validator talks to every other validator. So that is an incredibly slow process, and that is an incredibly unscalable process. That's why other proof of stake protocols don't scale. Avalanche uses a different mechanism. I'm not going to get into the technical specifics, but I will simply say it uses repeated subsampled voting. So I ask a small set of people, you ask a small set of people, and the math works out that after a small number of rounds, I can safely commit a decision if certain conditions are met.